Hey guys, I'm back with another action figure review, and this time we're going to take a look at the DC Collectibles Teen Titans series Superboy action figure. I've been looking really forward to this figure. I actually have not read too much of this Teen Titans series in the New 52, as I didn't hear much good things about it. If you're interested in a little bit about it, check out Rob's Rose. He did a reading talk about the series since it's now over. And yeah, it doesn't sound like it was a very good series. But I am a Superboy fan. I I I like a few of the Teen Titans in this group, so I'm picking up this Superboy and picking up the Red Robin. And if they make a bunker, I will so be on that figure. But as of yet, there's been no announcements, so I'm a little sad. But anyway, I just wanted to have this Superboy figure to have this Superboy figure, not necessarily to build up a team of Teen Titans. So on that note, he has been quite a bit of trouble for a lot of collectors. In particular, Rez the Collector did a review on this figure where the leg popped off, and that became this big issue with QC amongst a lot of us. Had this conversation. Rob did a really nice thing for Rez the Collector and ended up in the end ultimately getting a replacement Superboy for him that looked great. So these Superboy figures are kind of hit and miss on quality control, and unfortunately mine is a little bit of a miss. Fortunately, his paint is not the worst, but there is a bigger issue here that you will see momentarily. Let me first just get to the package. So as you can see, we're back to this older packaging now after having seen my reviews of the Designer series. If you haven't, go check them out. We have this bigger, bulkier packaging again with the big card on the top. You have Teen Titans logo. Down here you have Superboy. It's red, pulled down. On the side you have a pretty decent shot of the figure, sculpted by James Shoop. That's a name I haven't seen yet. And then the first wave here, we have Superboy, Wonder Girl, who looks pretty darn good, and Kid Flash, who looks a little strange. And then you just have, Superboy steals himself for the battle to come. The sensational action figure is based on his new designs from Teen Titans. You have their names, and then on the side you have the kind of, DC Collectibles artwork of him. So, there's the packaging. Oops. And back to the figure. So, I'm just going to off the bat tell you the biggest problem with this figure. You can just see the paint isn't the worst. I feel like this upper area of his S shield is kind of unevenly coated, and it's like a little bit darker than the rest of his S shield. There's some silver spots showing through because the way they did this paint is they did silver, metallic silver with a clear red overlaid. So if they missed any spots, you can see silver instead of red. His whole underarm area is kind of yucky. He's got silver here. Overall, it's not that bad. I'm content with the paint job. I pre-ordered this, so I got what I got. I mean, I could have probably asked the owner of Amok Time, can I go look at the ones on the shelf and trade it if I want, and he probably would have had no problem with that, but I just didn't feel like dealing with it. I looked at it and I said, okay, this is decent, I'll take it. Now, the biggest issue in paint is actually on his face. He has a two tiny specks of black, and I've been trying to kind of chip them off with my nail to no avail so far, but I'm hopefully going to get those off. But thankfully his Tron red lines are fine. Now, the biggest issue here, I didn't notice it at first, but I was sitting here, just, playing with him, trying to pose him. I bent his elbow on this arm. Cool, it bends. I go to bend his elbow on this arm, and it is just so stuck. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, why isn't this bending? I'm like, I guess it's just another QC issue. It's another, frozen joint. Now, as I'm playing with this figure, I happen to be watching Rez the Collector's second review of Superboy, where he reviews the figure that is of good quality that Rob was able to work out for him. Just go check out his review, he'll explain it. And I was kind of looking at him with his Superboys, and I'm saying, my Superboy's arm doesn't look like that. And I notice wait a minute, my Superboy's arm doesn't look like my Superboy's other arm. And I realize his forearm is upside down. How fabulous is that? So you have, on this arm you can see the stripe goes this way, it goes down, goes around, and on this arm, it's not there. Where is it? Oh, it's on this side. So that's great. So his elbow bends this way. That's cool, right, guys? Right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to heat and pop this elbow pin out and flip it around and hope that I can get it back in and it all will be fine. But that is just unacceptable. I don't understand, QC is our top priority, but we send out figures that look like this. This is probably the worst issue of the 3 figures that I've purchased today. So, yeah. However, I still like the figure. I think they did a really nice job sculpting him and painting him, mostly. That is just so frustrating, though. Again, to spend my money on a figure and get this, and me having to take it apart and put it back together after, expecting to just get one cool and have it and be able to play with it and look at it and pose it the way it is. So, again, I'm sorry for the negativity, guys, but, I mean, really, how would you react to a backwards forearm? So, I'm gonna get on with the review from here and just, do my normal, look at the pose, look at the sculpting, look at the paint, look at the articulation. And, yeah. So, yeah, let's take a look at just the overall figure. Let me see here. So, I actually think they did a pretty good job with the face sculpt. He looks boyish. He looks, not too angry, not too happy. He just kind of looks like I expect Superboy to look. The hair is cool. It's got this floppy do going on. It's a little flowy. I think it looks pretty accurate to the artwork. Now, did the box have artwork on it? I don't see, I don't even remember. No. Box doesn't have comic artwork on it, but if I do recall, this is about what he looks like in the comics. Now, you can see he's got the high collar, and it is sculpted here. Like I said, the paintwork is pretty darn good on this guy. All these lines are etched in, so every piece of red is etched in, so that's really cool that they did that. They could have just, painted the lines on and called it a day. But I feel like this adds a little bit to the neatness of it, even though some of them aren't that neat. This gives the impression that it is. Now, you can see on the back, he also has some more lines. Otherwise, he's pretty much just like a black figure. I don't have a DC Direct Superman to compare him with, but I'm pretty sure scale-wise he does work. He is a little bit shorter, and if anything, he should be pretty much the tallest of the Teen Titans anyway. So I think it works very well in scale. Go down on the legs here. You can see his lines do continue downward and go around. He even has some sculpting on his feet to look like soles to his shoes, and no tread on the bottom. Oh, I didn't show you the hands. Now the hands, he's got the fingerless gloves. He's got one kind of open hand. It looks like he's meant to hold something, but he doesn't have anything to hold. Oh, and the little triangles on this, not triangles, Superman symbols on the gloves look really cool. And this one is a fist, obviously. So, let me go through articulation. Now, this one, unlike the Designer series, is more like a typical DC Direct figure where it doesn't have as much articulation. It does have, the head can look slightly up, slightly down, and spin around. The shoulders will go up about here, and spin around. He's got a bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, which, depending on the elbow, will bend a certain way. And then he has a rotation at the what I guess was a glove, but I was under the impression that his suit was kind of just a whole suit, not really a glove, so, excuse me, I'm not sure why they chose to rotate here as opposed to at the wrist. It doesn't really matter either way. This actually doesn't look too bad because he has like a stripe that ends here, so it kind of blends it in a little bit. Now his legs go forward, kind of back, but also it's really kind of going to the side. So he actually does have like T-jointed hips. However, his left leg is going out much farther than his right leg on my figure. I'm afraid to pull at it because I'm afraid it's going to pop off, and I know that it was the left leg, I think, on Rez's original figure that pops off. Fortunately, mine is not, but I'm unsure why they're uneven that way. Oh well, I'm happy to see that they do have T-jointed hips, because I wasn't sure, I didn't think he would, because he looked sort of this more standard DC Direct articulation. They have single jointed, he's one dude, he has a single jointed knee, and then he has this, I don't know why on earth they put a cut in the ankle, so in the calf or the boot or the whatever you want to call it, so low down. And it doesn't really serve a purpose. I really wish they had just left this one out. In this case, I wish they had just left it out. I really don't think it's going to serve any point really in posing, and it takes the otherwise smooth one-piece suit and cuts it for no reason. So I don't like that. But he does have ankle hinges. Now, thankfully, his are much more sturdy than the Capullo series figures, so his posing is not really an issue. So yeah. I'm definitely happy with how the figure came out. I like how it looks. I'm happy that the paint work on mine is relatively good. It's not perfect, but it's definitely one of the better ones that I've seen. I appreciate the face sculpt, unlike the DC UC Superboy from the subline that did not look anything, I don't know what that was. I think this one looks really good. And I'm happy to have this look for Superboy. I'm not sure, where he'll end up kind of in my collection, as like I said, I won't be collecting the entire Teen Titans line, so you won't really have a team to go with. As of right now, I don't have a DC Direct New 52 like Superman. So, we'll have to see where he goes, but for now, I'll probably hang out with Red Robin when I get him, but we'll see. So, in the meantime, he's just a cool figure to have, and, despite this, glaring issue, he's not so bad. So I am rather happy. And, if you do go to pick this guy up, if you're purchasing him in person, I really highly recommend looking at the paint as much as possible before you pick him up. Look for silver specks shining through. Try to find an entirely red painted one clean in the lines, and you should be good. And if you can happen to notice that his bicep is backwards, his forearm is backwards, take note. But I should hopefully be able to fix that. And that wraps it up, guys. So that's it for my new DC Collectibles pickups for the moment. I won't be getting any until probably the summer now. I'm not really sure what my next one is or when it's coming out. I'll have to look into that. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep putting up some more Marvel Legends reviews, and then whatever. I still have my Batman 66 figures to review, all that sorts of stuff. So definitely more coming from me. I'm always picking up new sort of stuff, and I'm planning on working on some dioramas in the future, so yeah. Sneak that in there and see who catches it. So yeah, guys, keep a lookout for future reviews, future Rogue shows, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.